Peace, y'all. What's the call? 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 Say free them all and free Mumia Abu Jamal. We thank y'all for getting here today, for being with us today. We thank you all for joining us for a very important evening and a very important birthday. This is a day that we've all recognized to be one of the most important days this year as we go into next year, a year that's found us trying to find our way towards freedom and liberation for a very dear brother of ours and Mumia Abu Jamal, one of the most important political figures that we've certainly seen around the world. He is somebody that we've loved, somebody who we've cared for, somebody who we've advocated for, and ultimately somebody who's advocated for us. Is that right? So today is going to be a continuation of that work to not only free Mumia Abu Jamal, but to raise up the issues that Mumia has championed for the better part of the last 42 years, to bring out those issues that he's been talking about on his commentaries by way of prisonradio.org, and also by way of you all, the things that you all have done as independent activists, organizers, thinkers, concerned citizens, and revolutionaries. We thank you. We thank you. So give it up for yourselves. Hopefully some of you have been able to watch a podcast on YouTube called The Classroom and the Cell, or possibly even read the book. Maybe you've been able to read the writings of his daily YouTube, but more importantly than that, as Kalanji alluded to, building institutions by way of Uncle Bobby's Coffee and Books, authoring several books himself, speaking on behalf of Mumia Abu Jamal many times over the years, on behalf of all the press people everywhere. And I can remember, if I can just share this as I'm bringing him up, being on a plane with this brother, coming from Palestine, and everybody was sleeping and everybody was watching movies. This brother's at his seat, typing away. I kept looking over like through the seat, like what is he typing? He's typing. And we landed in New York City, and he said, "Yeah, I got to be at the UN in about an hour." And that would become a very unforgettable moment in time as we watched this brother give this speech and share those words from the river to the sea, but in the spirit of boldness and humanity, speak truth to power in the most sincere and authentic way. He's a brother of ours, he's a brother of yours, and he's committed at every turn. Even when he's got multiple things going on, he's going to be here. And so with that being said, family, what we're going to do is bring up Marc Lamont Hill.
Free the land. That's a mic right here. I know it's about time to go home, and I apologize for being here so late. It's been a crazy day in about 4 cities. But I couldn't not be here for my brother, Mumia Abu Jamal. This is a moment of multiple things. First, this is a moment of remembrance. You know, Mumia has made it to the age of 70. That is a victory in and of itself. They didn't want Mumia to live to be 70 or 60 or 50 or 40. The prison that he's in, the prisons that he's been in, the dungeons that he's been forced to live in inside of SCI this and SCI that have been designed and constructed like they had been for everybody else to kill us, to destroy our spirits, to destroy our minds, to destroy our families, to destroy our communities, and ultimately to destroy ourselves, our bodies, our lives. And Mumia is a testimony to what happens when you struggle, when you resist, And when you fight, but you don't do it as an individual, you do it as a collective. Mumia's 70th birthday is a celebration for him, but it's a celebration for every single person that has rolled up their sleeves, put their hand to the plow, and done the work of making sure that the state keeps their hands off of our brother. And I see so many people here, whether it's Betsy, whether it's Pam, whether it's Gabe, whether it's Johan. I can name so many people, Brother Mike, so many people here. In an individual effort, even at the level of resistance, we only win when we struggle together. We don't need no celebrity activists. We don't need no brands. We need reputations. We need people who are willing to struggle and sacrifice for the movement, and that's what Mumia has always done. I always sort of tease Mumia about the books he writes. Because he writes, first of all, he writes so many of them. And I wrote a book with Mumia, and people think I write fast. I send Mumia something, he sent it back in like 2 days, the whole chapter done. And I said to him, why do you not write about yourself more? You wrote one book that kind of gets at your experience. This is somebody who's been railroaded, somebody who's been lied on, somebody who has been, from the very moment he entered those handcuffs, been completely, not just mistreated, but been a model for how the United States picks and chooses who they want to prosecute, picks and chooses when they want to use the Constitution, picks and chooses when they believe in justice, because for every single time we've gone to that courthouse, there has been a Mumia exception. Every single time. He could have written books on how the Constitution has failed him. He could have written books on how judges pretend to be impartial, but people like Judge Sabo decide that they're going to be the judge, jury, and executioner. They're going to be the prosecutor and the defense attorney. They're going to be the decider of somebody's fate, even if it flies in the face of everything that America says it's supposed to be. He saw that. He could have written books about that. He could have signed away scripts to have movies made about him. But what he did instead is spend his life fighting for other people. He's written far more about the Move 9 than he has himself. He's written far more about the atrocity that happened on Osage Avenue than he's written about himself. He's written far more about those brothers who don't have death row, who don't have life sentences, but who still need a jailhouse lawyer. He's written about that. Why? Because Mumia said it ain't about me. It's about us. And so it's a day of celebrity, but it's a day of remembrance, but it's also a day of celebration, but it's also a day of purification. We got to purify our commitment to struggle. We got to remind ourselves of why we got here, because all of us can get caught up in this. All of us can get caught up in who get the mic last, who get the biggest name, who get the biggest shout out, who gets the shout out in the book, who gets the shout out at the rally, who gets the shout out on the rap verse, who gets this, who gets that. We all can get, I know I can, we all can get caught up in that. But when we come back to the fact that this man has been on death row for most of his adult life and now sits in slow death row with a life sentence that he does not deserve, when we look back at that, we got to remember that our commitment ain't to us, it's to them. And it isn't just about Mumia. Mumia is a model for a state that continues to lock up people for their political positions. A state that continues to have more political prisoners than the so-called axes of evil, the so-called bad nations. We talk all that stuff. We do all that red baiting. We talk all that stuff about China and Cuba, all these lies. But at the very same time, we continue to cage more people than anybody else in the world. He is a marker of that crisis. Today's also a day of victory, though. Because sometimes when you struggle and you don't win, you can start to think about this like it ain't worth struggling for no more. I'll never forget, we were at the Constitution Center. You were there, you were there, you were there, you were there, you were there. We celebrated Mumia getting off death row. And some white leftists pulled me aside. after I left the Constitution Center. He said, what's wrong with you, man? What are you up here celebrating Mumia for? He's still on slow death row, which we all agreed on. I mean, he still got life. How are you celebrating anything? Shame on all of you all for celebrating. He still got life. This isn't a victory. This is a loss. I was like, damn, that's heavy. I started feeling bad, Johanna, for feeling good. I was ashamed of myself for being proud that people like Pam, the long distance runners, had got him free off of death row. I said, damn, here I am thinking that we done did something and we ain't did nothing. About a month later, I went to Graterford, visiting Mumia. And I went to see him and I gave him a hug. It's the first time I hadn't seen him at SCI Green on death row. And I told him, I said, Mumia, yo, I got to tell you something. I like to tell Mumia because he's smarter than me, he read more. So I was like, I got to tell him that, you want to tell your old heads you got something. I was like, yo, bro, I'm in on this. I found out, I thought about it, man, this ain't no victory. This is a loss. We ain't did nothing. Mumia looked at me and he said, shit. He said, anybody who say that ain't never been on death row. He said, we did a whole book together and we did it behind concrete and steel. Now I gave you a hug for the first time. He said, I hadn't seen Wadia and been able to kiss Wadia in years, but I could do it. His beloved wife, may she rest in peace. He said, I could do it because of what y'all did. I got grandchildren who I could hug for the first time. I was doing 23-1 for most of my life. I was deprived of human contact, and now I got it. What do you mean it wasn't a victory? Thank you. Because of your struggle, we can fight to live another day and live to fight another day so that one day I could be free, but more importantly, we can all be free. Celebrate the victories. Celebrate the victories. If not for you and you and you and you, Mumia wouldn't be here celebrating the 70th. And maybe if not for Mumia, we wouldn't be here right now with the political clarity to know that we got more work to do. Because it's also a day of re-energization. I'm going to make up a word, Jesse Jackson, re-energization. We got to get re-energized for the next phase. Because we pat ourselves on the back, but we keep going. It's like we tell our kids at them 8th grade graduations, when they got the limos and the suits, cool, but you still got to go to high school. Still got work to do. If Mumia does not come home, or if, as my brother said, if Mumia comes home in some liberal, self-congratulatory stunt to bring our brothers and sisters home 1 week before they die, or 1 month before they die so that they can pretend that they had mercy, then we have not succeeded. Not because of the outcome, but because of our failure to keep fighting. The victory is in what? The struggle. And we will continue to struggle for Mumia. But we won't let Mumia become a celebrity prop either, because he don't want that. We will fight for Mumia, but we will fight for every brother, sister, man, woman, and child that's inside of those dungeons right now, because every prisoner is a political prisoner in this white supremacist capitalist empire. And we're going to fight to free them all. Somebody say, free them all. Free them all. Free them all. And so that's the work we got to do. But as I said, the celebration ain't individual. The remembrance ain't individual. And so the struggle can't be individual. We got to organize. Organized people defeat organized power every time. So let's organize. Let's join movements. We ain't got to start an organization. Everybody ain't got to start something. I go places, 50 black people in 25 organizations. Everybody president and vice president. That's not our struggle. That's not our tradition. Our tradition is organized, fighting, resisting. Somebody might be in front, but somebody else got to be organized. And somebody got to be bailing somebody out of jail. Somebody got to be doing political education. Somebody got to be doing confrontation. Somebody got to be doing study. Somebody got to be doing healing. Somebody got to be doing praying. All of it matters in this struggle. So find your place. Find your role, submerge your ego, remember our ancestors, and continue to fight for the legacy of our brother Mumia Abu Jamal. Brick by brick.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey. Are you? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday.
Well, listen,
Birthday to
feel
ya.
happy and
Happy
birthday
birthday.
is hearing the voices of the people. And,
Wait. Say that again.
If there's anything that makes me happy on this birthday is hearing the voices of the people. Because it's beautiful. It's wonderful. I appreciate it more than words can say. And you know, I have a few words, I always do. But I'm almost speechless right now, just vibing on the people and enjoying y'all, the sound of all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all for being there. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for holding me up and helping me up when I get kicked down. And thanks for rumbling with me, and thanks for being who you are. Thanks for being there. I appreciate all of you, every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Do you have some words to share with us? We're gonna put.
I actually don't. I didn't write anything. I didn't have anything prepared. I just wanted to.
We don't want to put you to work on your birthday. Hold on, I've got your son here. We've got your son here.
Hey, I told him I talked to you earlier. You called me. I had to pull over. I just wanted to just let the people know that we always appreciate not only what you can do physically, but also keeping the positive energy in the world, because we as a people will free our people. One of my father's words is that he believed the people will ultimately free him, not a court. We won't force them, but the people will. Love you, Dad. Happy birthday.
That sounds like my boy, don't it? That sounds like my son. You sound better than your old man, son. Well done. Well done.
Mumia, we got Pam who's just walked in. Do you have any words of solidarity for Pam and for the people of Palestine? We had an incredible march in Philadelphia. The French are here. People from Boston, from Detroit, from New York, Sekou, Sundiata Kohli.
Beautiful.
Wadia's children are here.
That's right.
Woo! Wadia's children are here.
That's right. Beautiful. I love you all. Never forget that. I love you all. Thank you.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Mahanoy. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Hey, Mumia.
Hey, fam.
All right.
Hey, sister.
Okay, you got another part of your crew coming up here. I'm going to back off, okay?
Ab, it's Issa.
Hey, son.
Hey, happy birthday. I mean, it
birthday,
ain't happy.
Mumia. It's Ice.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, baby.
We miss you, and we just wanted to say we love you on your birthday and every day.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
baby.
This
Thank
from
you. I love
Jade.
you every day, too.
You know we love you. Stand strong always.
Wawa was your biggest supporter. You already know that.
I knew that. Guess what? Don't nobody know what I know it, huh?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. It's great hearing y'all voices. You hear me?
Always have. You know that. We love you.
Stand strong.
Love you too. Love you too. Love you, Ice.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Love you, Ice, he said. Mumia, Palestine is, Chairman Fred is here. Palestine is the issue of the hour. What do you have to tell us about Palestine?
This is their time. And that, you know, when radical moments come around, we must grasp it with both hands. And when we see the carnage, the mega death that's been visited on the occupied territories of Palestine, it's time for us to raise our voices and to speak truth to power, but really speak out against this massive punishment against the people for daring to fight for their freedom, to fight for their land. You know, when I think about Palestinians, I think about the indigenous people of the United States.
This is a call
America.
from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Mahanoy. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
I think about so-called Native Americans because it really is the same dynamic, because Israel and the United States are settler colonial states. And they came to take the land from the people, right? In both situations. And they're trying to do that in Palestine the same way they did it over hundreds of years in the United States. Listen, how can it be that the indigenous people of the United States, the original people in what's now called the United States, live in reservations, in poverty? That's, you know, and the ghettos of Gaza, right, are too big for the appetite of the Israelis and the invaders. They want to put them on reservations or wipe them out. Do not get it twisted. So now is the time to speak out and speak up and stand with the oppressed of Gaza, the West Bank, the occupied territory. Just did a commentary a few days ago about blacks in Palestine. Don't get that twisted. Our people are there and have been there for several centuries in Palestine. There are black Palestinians over there. That's right. And they get bombed like everybody else. So remember, when the people are oppressed, it's their duty to fight for freedom. So long live the freedom of the Palestinian people.
Woo!
Free Congo, free Sudan, free Haiti. Mumia.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mumia. We love you.
Love you all.
I got to talk to you. Don't hang up.
Give it up, y'all, again, y'all, for Mumia Abu Jamal. Let him hear your voice. Let him hear your voice. Let him hear it, let me hear it, let him hear it, let him hear it, let him hear it. Louder, 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 louder. When I tell you, every time we have Mumia Abu Jamal's voice, it is a powerful moment, is that right? Yes. It is a great opportunity just to hear brilliance, intelligence at play and at work. You know, he is somebody who, like I said earlier, has been really our North Star in many ways for black liberation, and in many ways articulates and demonstrates all the brilliance and dragons we got in the prisons, as George Jackson once said.